Okay, so when I saw you yesterday, we had not yet seen the trailer that came out at the panel.
We hadn't either. We were like,
you hadn't?
No, we hadn't seen it. And so I'm sitting there watching as the lights come up, and you forget that you're in a room of 4,500 people. You're like, wait, what? Oh, hi. Yes, we're here. Like, yeah.
Well, when I was watching it, I was literally screaming, like making audible noises, because I think it's really the best trailer I've ever seen from the show. Just like the music and the vibe of it all. What did you love most about the trailer?
I loved this ET moment with the laser coming up and like the helmet over. And for me, that was like Northridge, California at the park in ET. Like that's what it reminded me of. And I don't know if that's giving anything away. I was not there for that scene.
Okay.
So I had not seen that scene.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa, that's awesome. Like that doesn't, like when you see something that doesn't remind you of your show initially, you're like, what's that about? Like you get interested by your own show, which is a funny experience to go through. But it's so funny. The second Stiles and Lydia hug, everyone's like, ah!
Okay, that's one of the moments that I knew the fans are going to be so
excited bring it up,
about.
So I'm just going to go ahead and dive in.
Thank you for bringing up my next question. Perfect segue. It looks like these two are going to be sharing a tender moment of sorts. What can you share about that?
This is what I can share.
Well, I know we're excited about it, and we're excited to see that relationship kind of come back. But there were so many other things in the trailer, like what is going on with Peter? I feel like he's had this mastermind, creepy plan over the course of several years now.
Well, it's pretty safe to say I don't think Stydia is happening since she's a minor, guys. Just throw that out there.
Throwing it out there.
But there's some funny exchanges with Lydia and Peter coming up. And I think he's such a great villain. Everybody loves to hate him because he's so funny while he's so evil. And so you love this bittersweet reaction of not knowing how to feel about him because he's a funny villain. I love those kind of villains. You know, Javier Bardem is that. And the villain in Hannah was that. This creepy but fun guy. And so that's my favorite kind of villain. So I commend Ian Bohen. I've said this once before that he helps me, like a lot of people with their auditions, because he's a great, I think he's so great on just pulling interesting qualities out of a character, and Peter Hale is no exception. I think he has such fun creating characters.
Okay, last quick question. I know you guys all lived together when you first started shooting the show, season 1. What's your favorite memory or story from that time that seems like years and years and years ago?
It was years and years and years ago, but my favorite memory is actually I did not live with everybody. I was the one, Colton and I were the only two that lived not in the same complex. It was the 3 boys, and then Crystal lived across the street. And then this is during the first season and the second season. And then Colton and I happened to live very close to each other. And everyone else found theirs through corporate housing, and I find all my stuff on Craigslist. And I saved so much money by living on Craigslist. And I met the most amazing people, and I'm still friends with my second season roommate that lived in Buckhead. I absolutely love her. And her dog Hank. And yeah, shout out to Molly. Hi, Molly. She's so sweet. Yeah, so I did not get as much time with the cast. Well, that's not true. Colton would come over, and so he and I were always gallivanting in Midtown or Buckhead, whereas everyone else was in Virginia Highlands. So that was sort of my experience. But we would spend a lot of time. There is a Christmas tree humping story. I don't know if, yes, somebody did hump a Christmas tree, and I will not say who. Because at this point, these are all embarrassing little boy stories, and I can't tell them now because they're men. Yeah. So there was a situation where somebody knew that somebody else would be humping a Christmas tree. And then that person said, no, you're crazy. I'm not going to hump the Christmas tree. And then sure enough, a week later, it's a he. We can say that. It's not Crystal. We know Crystal's probably not going to hump a Christmas tree. Is drunk and then humping the Christmas tree. And it sure enough falls over. We're in Square Avenue. I was like, oh, shocker. He's like, the other guy goes, I told you that would happen. He's like, oh, damn it, you're right. I did hump the Christmas tree.
Cut to 1:30 in the morning, and I'm literally just dancing on the tree and dancing with it and grinding on it, and I turned around and Hecklin's just staring at me, shaking his head, and I was like, I'm so sorry, bro.
I love it. Well, so good to see you. If you want more Teen Wolf, click right here to check out the Teen Wolf panel from San Diego Comic-Con, and don't forget to subscribe.